This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
An unexpected shakeup in Indianapolis this Monday. One of the most powerful men in the city's justice system is resigning from his office. Right now at noon, RTV6's Rafael Sanchez has learned that Marion County Prosecutor Terry Curry is stepping down. Rafael joins us right now from the live desk in our newsroom as he's been working to gather the very latest details on this new development. Rafael.
Good afternoon. Still many calls out as we wait for more information to come into the live desk. But as you pointed out, Terry Curry is stepping down. He is still, Lauren, in his third term, but for a few circle of people, his decision to step down was not on the radar for most. We are hearing that this is happening because of health reasons. We expect to hear more about that in about 2 hours or so. Curry's tenure in office will be most remembered for two of the biggest and most sensational criminal cases in state history. The biggest, the convictions of the people behind the 2012 fatal Southside explosion, which required trials in South Bend and in Fort Wayne. And then in 2013, the other big case was the conviction of former Metro Police Officer David Bassard, who was intoxicated at the time that he killed a motorcyclist. Curry came into office in 2010. He was reelected in 2014 and then again in 2018. And prior to that, he was a deputy prosecutor for 6 years. This is a big job. Curry runs an office of nearly 400 people. And as part of that job, he also spent the last couple of years sharing with civic groups the depth of how his office managed those multiple trials involved in the Southside explosion involving the Richmond Hill subdivision. The incident, as you may recall, happened in November 2012, but the trials, they were not heard until 2015 and 2016. It involved thousands of pieces of evidence and required the shuttling of dozens of witnesses and experts to testify both in St. Joe and Allen County. So we are expecting to hear more about Curry's decision at 2:15 today when we hear more about what exactly led to his decision on this Monday. That is the latest from the live desk. Rafael Sanchez, now back to you, Lauren.
Rafael, thank you for that update. Want to take a turn now to some big changes in how Mother Nature is treating us this week. That really sticky, humid weather from last week is gone for right now, and we're looking ahead with Storm Team 6's Todd Clausen. And Todd, I almost didn't believe it overnight when I heard the rain on the window. We haven't seen rain in a long time.
You know, we really need it. Up until this morning, we have only had 1/100th of an inch of rain. That's virtually nothing. We got over a 1/4 inch of rain yesterday evening and into the early morning hours today. And now we're getting back into the sunshine. That is the good news. You see the satellite radar picture here, not showing any precipitation. As we expand out, you can see that broken line of showers now well off to our east. What we've done is we've replaced the atmosphere, going from those warm and sticky conditions that Lauren was talking about to a cooler, more refreshing air mass now that's going to be in place at least for the next 24 to 48 hours before the heat is set to return. Look at this, noontime temperatures in the 60s still from Crawfordsville up towards Lafayette. 75 in Indy, 76 is the current temperature as you make your way up into the Muncie area. And here is the view from downtown as you look off towards the west. Just some fair weather cumulus clouds out there right now, and that's the way it stays throughout the afternoon hours. Finally, seasonable temperatures. We've been running well above normal. We'll get up to about 75, 76 degrees for your high. And just know, as soon as the sun sets this evening, it's going to cool off pretty quickly into the 60s. And come tomorrow morning, 40s are possible in some of the outlying areas. More on that, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, looking forward to a cool down. Thank you. Well, hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's passion project that links you up with job skills and resources. So we all know having a great idea for a product, that's one thing, but then turning that idea into a physical item, it takes skill and determination. A car salesman from Lawrence is hoping that his product gets picked up by Shark Tank in the upcoming season. Well, we met up with Ira Mercurio at Shark Tank's open casting call at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this summer. Our own Amanda Starantino shows you how Ira created his Easy Rec Rack.
If Ira Mercurio is not at his day job, he is still at work.
I see it and I build it. If it works, I leave it. If it doesn't, I tweak it.
The car salesman of nearly 25 years is taking on a new sales pitch. His own innovation, the Easy Recreational Rack, and it's a full-time job. Ira lives in the Indianapolis area and is an avid kayaker, traveling with his kayak locally and nationally. But he found getting his boat to water was not such an easy task.
And I searched for something that was similar to this. I just didn't find it. and I knew I could build it, so I did. I kind of had this idea how I could make a loading system to go up on the top of a car, and I just started building in my garage.
And just 2 weeks after starting to tinker with his idea, he had this.
This was where it all started. This is the first one I was trying to figure out, a rolling carriage for the top of my car.
Ira's Easy Rec Rack gets bolted to the top of your car, and with its rolling carriage feature, it makes lifting an 80-pound kayak a piece of cake. So why does he spend all of his spare time on this?
Necessity. If they've ever put a kayak up on top of their car or tried to by themselves, they already know the answer to that. They're heavy, okay. And it just helps. One person can do it real easy.
Now, 2 years later, Ira's Easy Rec Rack is on top of cars across the country and around the world. And it can hold more than just kayaks. Ira's clients have used it for furniture, camping gear, and even a kid's mini car.
Just roll it into my car.
All right, that was way easier than I thought it would be. But as easy as it is for just about anyone to use, it's not cheap to make, let alone to purchase.
Probably close to $400 just to manufacture it. The current one sells for $749.
While calmer waters are ideal for Ira's favorite pastime, he is hoping to take his innovation to the West Coast and right into the Shark Tank to prove even the best sharks need a ride to the water.
If I can get my numbers up, hopefully I can get my costs down. If I get my costs down, I think the numbers will automatically go up. So it's kind of it's a perpetual thing. But I need help because that takes money. So it's one of those things where you can't just jump into it with both feet. You have to kind of tip your toe in the water first to start. And that's where I'm at. My toe's in. I think my whole foot's in now.
Amanda, thanks. Well, the Easy Rec Rack is manufactured locally here in Noblesville, and Ira says he plans to keep his production as local as possible. You can see if Ira's Easy Rec Rack made the cut from the open calls of Shark Tank hosted this summer at IMS. To do that, you can tune in for the season premiere of Shark Tank this Sunday at 9 p.m. only here on RTV6. And you can see that Shark Tank Speedway content, plus all of our other Hiring Hoosiers profiles right now on the RTV6 app. You can also go to hiringhoosiers.com. Well, coming up here on the news at noon, you may be thinking of booking a vacation to a beach somewhere, maybe here like Miami as the weather gets cold. But before you do, we need to give you a warning so that you don't get scammed before your holiday even starts. And then shutting down D.C., why this broad coalition of activists are coming together to block the streets in the nation's capital today. Plus, a little later in the show, they're at the top of their game. And they're not only here in town to win, they're here to celebrate women in technology. You'll want to stick around for a live interview on this big event. Todd.
And Lauren, it's been a hot stretch of weather here through much of the month of September. We're finally getting into more seasonable weather here this afternoon. It's going to not only be seasonable, but sunny as well. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
Here's tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC. This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Time now for an RTV6 Consumer Alert. Joining me in studio today is Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau. And Tim, today we have a warning for people who are maybe booking a flight, booking a vacation because scammers are out to get you.
Right. We've talked a lot about how scammers now are posting customer service numbers and that type of thing high on websites so that people think, hey, that's the customer service number, I'm going to call it, and it's actually a fake number. Well, this is happening very much with travel sites out there, particularly Booking.com for some reason has been targeted. So what happens is you're going to make, let's say you make a reservation with Booking.com that's a legitimate reservation. Then you want to change that reservation. You change the dates or change your flights or what have you. So you look up the number and you're going to call their customer service, say, hey, I need to change my travel plans, what have you. They're going to say, sure, we can do that, but we aren't allowed to take any major credit cards. Can you go out and get some sort of prepaid credit card or some other form of payment? People go out and do it. You know, they'll give them the card number, and then all of a sudden, boom, they've lost $400 or $500, let's say. They don't actually get their reservation changed because they've been talking to a fake customer service number. So you want to be very, very careful of this anytime you're doing any travel, and particularly if you're making any changes. And right now, like I say, we're seeing kind of Booking.com being the one that's targeted, but any of these companies, any of these websites could be targeted. So just make certain you're really going directly to the source. any sort of unusual payment, that's a real red flag. If they won't take your credit card, boy, that's a real red flag that something going on. So question, any type of unusual payments. Just make certain you verify their legitimacy. And then you can always go to bbb.com to check out businesses to see if they're accredited businesses, that type of thing. But once again, it's very easy to get fooled with internet sorts of information because it's very easy to put fake information up there.
All right, Tim, thank you so much. This has been an RTV6 Consumer Alert. And still ahead, these leaders in golf are bringing their game to Indy to celebrate women both on and off the green. Stay with us for some special guests in studio this midday. And here's a live look outside right now of our city skyline. You can see some white puffy clouds up there in the skies. Some changes moving into our forecast today after some rain rolled through in the overnight hours. A welcome change if you like cooler temperatures. Todd Clausen is breaking down what you need to know for the day ahead. Stick with us. We'll be right back just after this break.
DirecTV bundle.
Welcome back today. Climate change activists took to the streets in the nation's capital to shut down D.C. Protesters blocked major intersections around Washington, disrupting the morning commute to draw attention to the climate crisis. The demonstration comes as the UN General Assembly meets in New York for the first day of its summit on climate action. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi is in Washington with more.
The Monday morning commute throughout the streets of Washington coming to a standstill.
What do we want?
Just one block north of the White House, protesters blocking this busy intersection, holding signs and chanting. The demonstration, one of 4 targeting heavily trafficked areas in the district, all in an effort to demand action on climate change.
We're melting the poles, we're raising the seas, we're scorching our farmlands, and now we have to push ourselves outside our comfort zones to speak up.
At one point, D.C. police using what appeared to be a grinding saw to cut loose demonstrators who chained themselves to a large sailboat used as a blockade, and taking others away in handcuffs. The protests were organized by a coalition of climate activists called Shut Down D.C. According to the group, blocking an intersection like 17th and K behind me allows them to forcibly get the attention of White House officials, lawmakers, and corporate lobbyists while they're on their way to work. Shut Down D.C. comes on the heels of last week's massive protest led by Swedish teen activist Greta Thunberg, which mobilized millions of young people from New York to Paris to Sydney.
Change is coming, whether they like it or not.
And today, the conversation once again on the world stage as leaders from all over come together for the UN's Climate Action Summit. And more than 100 leaders are expected to take part in the summit. President Trump, who withdrew the U.S. from the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, is in attendance. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
And back here at home, want to take a live look outside. This is our Weather Now camera downtown, view to the north. Lots of puffy clouds out there, Todd. I'm kind of looking forward to getting outside today.
You know, you have to get outside today, right? The sun is shining, the humidity's way down, the temperatures are a little more seasonable than they have been. In fact, it's been a very warm stretch of weather until today. Today we will break this streak. 14 days in a row of temperatures 80 degrees or warmer, and some of those days were even up in the 90s. So what happened this morning is the cold front went through. That has ushered in a completely new air mass across the area. You can see Storm Team 6 radar right now. Nice and quiet all across central Indiana. The front is fully through, and that has taken the rain and pushed it off towards the east. And we're in the process now of bringing in that cooler, more refreshing air mass now that we've switched the winds to that northwesterly direction. So that's going to do 2 things. It's going to drop the humidity, and it's also going to prevent our temperatures from climbing up into the 80s. But keep in mind, our normal high this time of year is in the mid-70s. So we're at 75 degrees right now in Indianapolis. The humidity is way down. That nice refreshing wind out of the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. In fact, some locations off to the west still in the 60s, 67 in Crawfordsville, 71 in Lafayette, 72 is the current temperature in Columbus, and Richmond right now is at 71. Highs today will top off in the low 70s to the north, mid to upper 70s though from Indianapolis down towards Columbus with all that sunshine. This evening though, don't be surprised. As soon as the sun sets, which now is at 7:41. Our temperatures will cool off very, very quickly into the 60s. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, we will be in the 50s. So it's a good opportunity to turn those air conditioners off, open the windows, and let that nice refreshing air in overnight tonight. 50 in Lafayette, 54 in Indianapolis. And then tomorrow, probably the best day of the week, simply because we have sunshine from start to finish. You don't have to worry about any rain like we did this morning. And then we'll get the temperature up to 77 degrees for your high with low humidity. Terrific Tuesday for us. Once we get into Wednesday, we'll bring the chance of some thunderstorms back into the forecast. They should be pretty spotty, mainly in the afternoon. Thursday still comfortable at 76. And then once we get towards the weekend, summer's not going away too quickly. We're going to start to see those temperatures warm up very, very quickly here across the area with partly cloudy skies, so it's going to be dry. That is the good news, but high temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s. I wouldn't be shocked Saturday and Sunday if some locations here across central Indiana will top that 90-degree mark, something we'll have to keep an eye on.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, right now we want to take a turn, bring you some breaking news we just got to the scene of. This building has collapsed here. This is on the north side of Indianapolis at 22nd and College Avenue. All we know right now are 2 cars crashed into this building, and obviously you can see here it caused the building to collapse. A lot of damage and a lot of debris. There's no word yet on any injuries or what exactly this was before it collapsed, so this is all information we're working to gather right now. You can see a car, at least one of the cars here, still at the scene, so we'll continue to keep you updated on the RTV6 app as we learn any new information. We want to take a turn right now this week as some of the best golfers in the world are here in Indianapolis, and they're not only here to try and win, they're celebrating women in technology. The LPGA's Indy Women in Tech Championship is back at the Brickyard Crossing Golf Course. Jennifer Pope Baker is the chair of this organization, the committee for the tournament, and we also have the man here who helped to bring the tournament to Indy, former Mayor Greg Ballard. Guys, thanks so much for being with us. Such an important topic, especially with our Hiring Hoosiers initiative. First, talk to me a little bit about Indy Women in Tech and what it has to do with golf.
Well, Indy Women in Tech is the organization that connected with the LPGA event because it was really important for this event to help elevate women and girls in our community in some way. And we also know how important it is for women and girls to engage in STEM education and careers so they can stay here and work in our community and our state. And so the marriage was a perfect way to uplift both golf and STEM.
Perfect. And Greg, talk to me a little bit about, you brought this event here, one of the more instrumental people. Why was that, and what can it do for our city?
I always loved the LPGA Tour anyway, and I happen to know the people that could kind of put the pieces together, and I just kind of asked them individually, and it all kind of worked out really nicely. Dan Towers is obviously really behind it quite a bit, and who was also behind Indy Women in Tech. So we just wanted to marry all this together and bring in the best women golfers in the world, and they're going to be here this week, which is really fun. But also, as Jennifer said, we'll elevate girls and women into STEM and tech-related fields. It's extremely important for the future. We just have to have more young women go into tech in the near future.
Yeah, we know that there's a gap in the number of women who are in that field, and those jobs are in demand. They pay well. We want them here in our city. How do people get involved in this event and everything you guys have going on at the Brickyard?
Well, people can get involved still as volunteers. One of the great events that we have that runs every day, weekday, is called TEA, the Eureka Exchange, which is a hands-on opportunity for young people to learn about STEM in really cool, fun ways. If you go to our website, iwitchampionship.com, people can still register to volunteer if they like.
Awesome. Well, so much great information and a great event here in the Circle City. You guys, thanks so much for being with us here. And we'll be right back here on the news at noon with more on our forecast. Stick around.
Today at speedway.com.
All right, the rain chances have come to an end for the day today. The skies are partly cloudy. We'll see more and more in the way of sunshine here this afternoon with the temperature of 77 degrees. Cools off quick tonight. Tomorrow morning, you're waking up to a temperature about 54 in the city, but cooler in the outlying areas. Tomorrow's a terrific day from start to finish. A high of 78 and sunshine. Some spotty storm chances in the forecast on Wednesday, but then the attention will turn to the heat once again. That'll build in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with highs near 90.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. We hope you come back. Join us for the news at 5 o'clock. Have a great Monday afternoon.